Film Development Hell, Day 10, Quality Control is the name of this video. Why? Well, I am film director Deborah Richards, and in 5 weeks' time, my second feature comes out, Shaken and Stirred, the story of FLAIR bartending. You can watch the trailer and actually pre-order it right now in the links below. It's the world's first ever documentary about the underground world of competitive FLAIR bartending. And I'm also in development of my next feature film, which is a horror called SCISSOR, which I think right now the plan is to shoot it in Poland next year. But there's a lot of things that have to happen before we can get that, before we can even get to that movie. So right now, this YouTube channel is a daily journey. Of what it's like to be an independent film director and what I go through every day to make movies. So the latest is we completed Shaken and Stirred. If you watched the last video from yesterday, you'll see that we shot the very, very last drone shot, put it in the computer, colored it up, it's ready to go. So we think the movie is finished. We got the final stereo mix from our composer Roland, and we threw that in the timeline. And we've done all the final color adjustments, and we now have the end credits all put together. So the whole movie is done. So the next thing I have to do is I literally have to watch the entire movie right now and see if there's any notes. And if there are no last notes, then that's it. The movie is done. But if there are notes, then obviously I have to go back in and fix those things. But I think this might be it. I think this might be it. I hope this is it, because I've already seen the movie now some 40 times over the last year in post-production. And just to let you guys know, this movie took us 3 years to make. We filmed it in LA, Las Vegas, and Miami. And it takes a long time to make a movie. And we've actually started developing our next movie about a year ago, but we can't really get to it until we have successfully launched Shaken and Stirred. And speaking about when it comes out, let's have a quick look at the calendar over here, because I think, let's have a look at our calendar, because I think it's coming out pretty soon. I know I have to cross off a bunch of these days up here, because we haven't been doing that, and we're already way into February, right? What is the date? The 21st, the 25th? Something like that. Let's see. It's definitely not that. Okay, is it? Yeah, it's the 23rd. It's Sunday the 23rd right now. And the world premiere is March 25th. So that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What? It's like literally like 4 weeks. 4 weeks. 4 weeks until the world premiere. This is terrifying. A lot has to happen. After I make this movie, after I do the final check, quality control check on the final master of the movie, I have to export it out in 1080, and then I have to upload that to Vimeo OTT. We are self-distributing. It makes sense for this movie. Our last movie we didn't self-distribute. Our next movie we're not going to self-distribute, but for this film in particular, it made sense to self-distribute. So my film company, 1905 Films, is now technically a distributor. But don't be sending in your movies, because we're only distributing this one film. So one of the things we're using to distribute it is Vimeo OTT, which is like an off-the-shelf custom management system for transactional video on demand, TVOD. And I have to upload the movie to each one of our Vimeo OTT websites. And we have like about 20 because we have different affiliates associated with the movie. So, but the first thing I have to do is just like literally watch the movie, final watch. In fact, I gotta black out the room. You can see we've got the blackout curtains up, but I have to drop them down and make the room all depressingly dark. And hopefully this is the final check of the movie, because if it is, it means I can take these backdrops down. And honestly, working in a blacked out room for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time can be really depressing. So I'm looking forward to taking these off and turning the lights on and just having natural daylight in here again. But for right now, we got to go dark mode. Let me turn on the drives. Let me show you guys my drives, because I've got literally like 50 terabytes of drives on the desk here. As you can see, it's a lot of storage. There's a saying in storage management, if it doesn't exist in 3 places, it doesn't exist. So that's good advice. So let me get you guys set up and let me pull up the movie. The other thing I have to do today is I was sent a screenplay for a $1 million budget movie that's shooting in England, or at least it's set in England, and they're trying to attach a director. And so I'm being considered. So I have to read that script today and see if that script resonates with me. As a director, it's your job to take the what's on the screenplay, what's written on the page, and bring that to life. Oh, look who's just joined us! It's Cookie. Cookie, come on, come here. Oh, this is the apple of my eye, little Cookie dough. Say hi to everyone. And Cookie and I would like to thank you guys, because I actually have 80 subscribers and it's only been 7 days. So this is amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Please comment down below, because this is meant to be like a two-way conversation. And Cookie, you want people to comment, right? You got questions. So yeah, comment please. But I'm so grateful. 80 subscribers, that's amazing. Everything I read about YouTubing says that the first 8 videos that you do, you're not likely to get any views or any subscribers, and I'm already up to like 1,600 views and 80 subscribers and 120 watch hours. So thank you guys, this is amazing. If you like this long form content, I'll keep doing it. I put out these videos every day, and you literally get a seat beside me as I go through the movie business and the Hollywood industry and navigate it and make stuff happen. Okie dokie, let's get the movie crack-lacking. So I ripped out a 4K version of the movie. So that's what we're going to be watching today. I'm going to be watching a 4K ProRes 422 HQ cut of the movie. And my monitor is actually a 5K monitor. So I'll be watching it in 5K and taking notes. And let's cue up the movie. Let's see. Aha, found it. Okay, let me pause that. Let me get it on the big screen. Now, before I watch that, I also want to tell you about something really exciting, which was a big win yesterday. So SCISSOR, the next movie that we're making, it's a $1 million plus project, and it's a big project. Yeah, it's going to be very exciting for us. It's a horror. It's a female-driven horror set in Texas in the mid-'80s, and it's a cautionary tale about the cruelty of vanity. And there is one actress from the horror genre in particular who I think would be amazing in this film. So I actually reached out to her on Instagram saying, I have this screenplay that I want to get to you. How do I get it to you? I have a role that's perfect for you. And she, on Instagram, publicly replied back with the email address of her manager. So this is amazing. So yesterday I sent her manager a copy of the screenplay. And I know what you're thinking. I could obviously go on IMDB Pro and find her manager's email that way. But by her interacting with me, I now have a reasonable excuse to contact her manager, and not just a really good screenplay. You know, when I reached out, I was able to say, hey, so-and-so gave me your email on Instagram today and asked me to reach out to you. So that is already an icebreaker, rather than just, hello, blah, 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 you know, you don't know me. And also the other thing is I responded to her comments saying, okay, I'll send in that screenplay today. So maybe there's a little anticipation there. Maybe she said to her manager, hey, dude, look out for this screenplay called SCISSOR that's coming in today. I don't know, I hope, but that's the way these things happen. Now, just because I got a screenplay to the manager doesn't mean that the movie's going to get made. Sorry, it doesn't mean that they're going to want to make the movie with me. That doesn't mean that she'll even see the screenplay, because the manager's job, right, is to manage someone's career overall. And for whatever reason, the manager may think this is the wrong project, this is the wrong time, this is the wrong opportunity for my client, and they will stop the client from ever seeing that screenplay. So just because I got the screenplay to the manager doesn't even mean the artist will necessarily see it. But if he likes it and it's right for his client, and then she likes it, then maybe there might be a conversation that follows after that. So I'm very excited. I see it as a big win. And I just want to talk about wins real quickly, because every now and then, someone points out to me how often I get wins. And it's true, I get a lot of wins, whether it be a film festival award, or an article in a magazine, or whatever the win is, okay? But or like this, or the artist responding to my comment on Instagram. Come here, Cookie. She wants to be with the pack. So I get a lot of wins. But what people don't realize is two things. One, how many losses I get. Okay, for every 2 or 3 wins, there's like 5 or 10 losses. There are losses all the time. Like, for example, I got denied for this opportunity that we applied for recently. And when I got that rejection email, I didn't even tell my business partner, Patrick. Why bother? Why bother bringing him down? It's like, okay, they didn't, wasn't accepted. It's a pass, it's a fail, move on. The other thing that people don't realize about all these wins is every single one of my wins is because I put in the time and effort, usually weeks, days, months, years ago, okay? Like, when I get, excuse me, so many of these wins that I get, it's because I literally put in the work 6 months ago and applied for something 6 months ago, or 1 year ago, or 8 months ago. So, who was that? Was it Wayne Gretzky that said you miss 100% of the shots you never take? It's kind of like that. It's a numbers game, right? So I apply for opportunities left, right, and center, and I do the work, put in the application, submit the movie, send out the press release, whatever it is. We do the work, and then hopefully, every now and then we get to reap the rewards. But just because I get a lot of wins, don't think that it's just easy street over here. It's not. The wins are purely because of the effort I put in before, and because of how many we apply for. So I just want to share that with you guys before I get into the spotting session with the movie. So I'm literally going to watch the movie. This is called a spotting session. Hopefully it's the final spotting session. I'm going to watch the movie, make notes. So let's do that right now. Let's get into it. Let's start watching the movie together. Oh, we're going to put on the sound. Let's wind that back. Oh, you guys can't watch the movie with me. It's available for pre-order now down below. But I'm going to watch it real quick, an hour and 40 minutes, and then let's check in a second and see how we're doing on the notes, okay? Hey guys, I got bad news. I'm just not satisfied with a couple of the shots. So I've been watching the movie for a while now, and there's a couple of shots that I just wasn't satisfied. So I actually went in and made a couple changes, but now I got to make those changes to a bunch of other shots. So I figured this would probably be a good time to show you some color stuff, because the movie never ends. Just when you think it's done. Let me do this. Let me record my screen, and then I can show you what I'm talking about. Okie dokie, guys. So what we're looking at here is, well, let me just disable that for a second, because I want to bring you guys up to speed. Okay, so let's have a look at
And we worked with a polymer. It was two liquids that you'd mix together and become a hard rubber or a plastic. And we worked with a polymer. It was two liquids that you'd mix together and become a hard rubber or a plastic.
Okay, so this is one of the producers on the movie, Dean Cineos, and we interviewed him for the film in Florida 2.5 years ago. And the issue was this: when I lit him, we lit him. He was sat upright in his chair, and we did a 3-point lighting with a key and a fill, and some kind of kicker, and or rim light or something. And the problem was, Dean is very, very animated. He's amazing on camera because he's just so animated. But when he speaks, he always leans forward. So all this lighting that we had set up, he would kind of lean into it. And so it caused all kinds of problems. If we have a look at this full screen, you'll see, here, I'll move my mouse around. This is him leaning forward. And so the key light in this area here is hitting him really hard. And it almost makes his eyebrow look a little purple. And it looks his head a little burnt out, and this area a little purple because he's just so far forward. By the way, the original shot looked like this. So after all our nodes of color, it currently looks like this. But the problem is this issue that he's leaning so far forward that the key light is really hot on him. And in fairness, okay, I was the director of photography on this film, and this was a very run and gun situation because it was a documentary. But still, I gotta take the blame. I'm not a great cinematographer, okay? I mean, I'm okay, but I'm really good in post. So I can kind of almost get away with being an okay cinematographer or director of photography because I know how far I can take it in post. But this is one of those situations where if I was a better cinematographer, I wouldn't have had this problem in the first place. So, okay, so let me show you my solution to the problem. Let's go to another shot, and I'll start from fresh. So you guys, I can walk you through it, okay? So we're gonna have a look at this other, because the same problem applies to all of Dean's talking head close-ups. So let's have a look at this shot.
I said, I'm going to that. And I said, I'm going to that.
Same problem again, okay? He's leaning in so far forward that this is really hot, and it's so hot that it makes this whole area look almost purple. And again, his eyebrow, instead of being a nice dark color, it's almost bluish. So this is how I would fix this situation. We have a pretty insane node tree that, for the most part, we're just going to ignore because I can delete those two nodes. We're going to ignore this node tree because we're just going to append a node to the end, and it's this last node that we're going to use to fix this. Okay, and so let me show you what the fix is. Okay, I'm just going to draw a mask over this area that I want to fix on his forehead. I'm going to isolate the areas. First, I'm going to work on his forehead, okay? And that's the basic shape that I want to adjust. Now, I'm going to track that real quick. Tracking backwards right now. And now I got to fix that track a little because it kind of went off the rails. So I'm going to go into frame here, and it was really cool until about, well, let's have a look. Let's just play it backwards. Until about here, maybe. I kind of want to keep the shape. So let me just hand animate this. Okay. It's looking a little better. Okay, let me check the middle of that. Yeah, not bad. Let me check this. Not bad. Yep, not bad at all. Okay, so we're good up until this keyframe here. So I'm just going to do that to get to that keyframe. And now let me just track this way. Ooh, it went a bit weird. Why did it go so crazy? Oh, I see. It was catching up with the track. No, that looks good. Okay, so the secret sauce to this is going up into effects and using a color compressor. So we're going to put that color compressor on here. And the cool thing with the color compressor is you can select a color that you want to be your target color, and then you can raise the it kind of averages out things, so you can raise the luminance, the saturation, and even the hue, so it just gets you more in that pocket. So if we had a look at full screen here, obviously we got to soften the window, but you can kind of see how that softens that impact. Now I'm just going to take the settings I took from this last shot, because my compressor settings were exactly where I need them to be. So I'm just going to paste that on there. Oops, just took away all the data from the masks, so I can't actually do that. So I'm just going to have to go in here, and I wish there was a way of copying an effect. I'm sure there is, I don't know it. Okay, well, I can easily do that mask again, or I can just actually, let's see, I can save this color here, go OK, go on here, click on that, and then I should just be able to click that color. Perfect. And now if I just copy these three settings, so 0.953, 0.953, and go back here, 0.388, 0.388, and then what was that last setting? 0.295. 0.295. Perfect. Okay, so you can see, let's have a look here. So before, after. Okay, great. But what we got to do is we got to actually soften that window.
And I said,
oops, I think something went wrong, because on the tracker I was still on frame instead of clip. That always catches me out. You see how that, because it was on frame, it animated that window, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to cancel that, and we're just going to go onto here and change it to clip. Now that it's on clip, I can open up that window, and it should stay there.
I'm good.
Okay, let's make that window a bit bigger.
Going to that.
And let's make the size of the mask a little, get it kind of in the pocket.
And I said, I'm going.
Much better. Okay. Now, like I always do, I go to my keyer and I just kind of roll off some of the effects, so that it's not... I feel like whenever you do an effect, you kind of, well, at least I do, whenever I do any kind of effect or adjustment, I kind of overdo it at first, because I want to see the effect of that adjustment, but it's just, so it's natural for me to like over crank it. So I always roll it off just a little. And if I go back to this last shot and look at this and check the reading here, I rolled off the gain to like 0.5. So if we go over here, you can see it's a 0.7, but I can roll this back further to like a 0.5. And now that we look at his forehead, so this is after and this was before. I think the after looks a lot better. There's a bit of spill and a bit of like kind of haze, but to be honest, the background is out of focus, and kind of in that tonal range anyway, so it doesn't, you know, offend me too much. The other thing we can do is we can actually take the mid-tone detail of this layer, just roll it off a little. Let me roll it off a lot and you'll see what that looks like. So that's rolled off a lot, and if I reset that, it's like that. So as we roll it off a little, the mid-tone detail, it will just take a little bit of the mid-tone contrast detail out of that area of the mask. Now we still have one issue, and that's his eyeball, okay? So we gotta fix this area here, and I think the best way to do this is with a combination of two masks. First of all, I just want to do, so I'm just going to do these masks on the same layer, right? Because we already have the color compressor adjustments here. So I'm just going to kind of do that kind of shape. And now we're going to want to track this. So let it track it. Okay, and it got a little funky there in places. Let's see where it goes funky. It's not too funky here, but I'll just throw in a keyframe and maybe straighten this a little. Sure. Okay, and then let's just put another keyframe in here and move this around a bit. Yeah, it looks fine. Let's keep going along. Looks great, except I want this a bit more, maybe over here. Okay, great. Now again, we have to, oops, I don't want to make the same mistake that I made earlier. Make sure we're on clip and not frame. Okay, make sure we're on clip here. Now we can open up, soften the window. And that looks great, except there's one problem with it now.
I'm going to that.
Can you see what that is? It's actually his eyeball. His eyeball now is well, it's not got the white and the darks and the you know, of his eye. So all we're going to do now is put one more window on this frame, and we're just same node, and we're just going to make a circle here. We're going to change the mask to this setting. Okay, let's take out the softness. Let's make it small. Let's go down for the eyeball. I'll make this a little bigger so we can kind of see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're just going to make, so it's like a, you know, it's cutting out the original triangle mask here a little. So I'm just going to kind of select the eye itself. Yeah, pretty good. Tracker. Okay, and then I'm going to let that track back and forwards. Oops, went out of frame there. You can see it there. It's because we had it zoomed up. Okay, and that looks good. So now all we need to do is the window softness on that. And as you can see, if I take the window softness off, that's what it looks like. And as I roll that on. Now, if I disable that entire node, it will look like this. That's what the original was. And so you can see very harsh down this side of his face. But as I do that, it's completely put him back into natural, I think. Right? What do you guys think? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is the shot before.
I said, I'm going to that. And I said, I'm going to that.
And this is the shot after.
And I said, I'm going to that.
Before, after.
And I said, I'm going to that. And I said, I'm going to that.
Okay, so that's the adjustment, but I actually have to do that to another, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeek! 5 more shots. I got to do that adjustment another 5 times. So let me bang that out really quick, and then let's catch up in a bit, because after I've done that, then I just got to keep spotting the movie and see if there's any other little things that I need to, you know, this is like the final tweaks, just making sure everything is pucker. Okay, so I got to get to work. Okay guys, so I've just been through the movie. Get some lights on here. I've just been through the movie and I've done a bunch of adjustments as I went through stuff because I thought it was done, but it's not. And so now I've done a ton of adjustments and I'm re-rendering. I've got to re-render it out basically. So let's do that real quick. Let me bring you in, guys, into my world. Okay. Okay, here we are. Let's do this together. So, yeah, basically there's a ton of changes that I had to make. And it was just really little cherry on top, but it's like, if I do one adjustment to one person's talking head interview, I feel like, you know, I've got to go through it and do it to all of their shots, right? And then all of a sudden, when you do something like that and you do an adjustment, then you realize, oh my gosh, well, maybe I should do the same adjustment to the wide, and then you do the wide. And now I'm starting to wonder if I'm actually going overboard on everything. But I think it's there. I think it's there. I just got to export it, and then I guess Patrick and I can watch it tomorrow on the big TV and lounge, and give it a final kind of once over. But for right now, I got to export it. So let's see. I'm going to export from the first frame all the way to the very last frame, and make sure that everything here is making sense. Cool. So let's do a ProRes 422 HQ. And let's save it to my documents. Cool. This is going to be SAS Final Cut, Director's Cut. Let's ProRes 422. ProRes 422. Oh, HQ. We're going to do 1080. Timeline resolution. And you may be wondering why I'm doing 1080 and not 4K, because it's we need a 1080 print for distribution. So 1920 1080. Yeah, looks good. Add to render queue. Okay, that's it. The movie is rendering out. I honestly thought that we had this in the bag. You okay, Cookie? Did I just run over you with my chair? I really honestly thought that we had this in the bag, but apparently we do not. So I've got to export it out. This is going to take maybe 2 hours or so. And then, but I think this is it. I think, honestly, I've got, this is as best as this movie is going to look. So I'm going to render this out in 1080. Once it's done that, I'm also going to render it out in 4K. Both versions should be exactly the same, only different resolutions. And then the 4K version we will watch on the big screen tomorrow in my living room. Patrick and myself, my producer, my business partner. You know Patrick, you've seen him in all these vids. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that tomorrow. But now I have to actually read a screenplay, because a producer has sent me a screenplay that they want me to check out. They're looking to attach a director to this feature film. It's $1 million budget. And it sounds interesting, so I'm going to read the screenplay and see if it resonates with me. If I feel like I can bring something to the table that isn't, that isn't there, and I feel like the material speaks to me, then I will communicate that this week. So first things first, though, I've got to read the screenplay. So I'm going to go do that. And listen, guys, if you like this long-form content about what it's like to be a film director, please click like, subscribe, click the thing over here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.